Hi, Jim Bunch, founder of The Ultimate Game of Life, and I'm super excited to be joining you here from my home in Cardiff by the Sea. And today we're going to share with you some things that could possibly shift the direction of your life forever, as they've done with thousands of people in over 45 countries. And I'm talking specifically about an epic adventure that we began years back that has helped us identify the things that people are doing in their life that are working and a few things that people are having challenges with. Now, many people invest tens of thousands of dollars on books and tapes and seminars. I myself have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in learning from some of the best teachers in the world. And I've been to seminars where we've walked on fire, I've broken boards, I've walked on glass, I've pushed arrows against my neck, I've done all kinds of crazy things. And a lot of that stuff has helped, there's no doubt about it. Well, what I noticed a few years back was there are literally thousands of people every weekend that are spending their life savings, that are leaving their jobs and their families to pursue the dream of becoming an entrepreneur, the dream of turning their passion into a profit, and the dream of hopefully helping other people with their ideas. And what I noticed is only about 4% of those people are actually succeeding. And to be quite honest with you, I was kind of wrapped up in the seminar industry myself as a student and also as a teacher. And I was excited because every weekend we'd meet thousands and thousands of new people. But when I went from city to city to city, it wasn't until I started coming back that I noticed that some of the same people who had the best intentions, who had set these incredible goals, who were all charged up when they left the events, were not actually following through. And I didn't have the answer until years later, and that's what I want to share with you. Unfortunately, what I started noticing was only about 4% of the people were actually succeeding at achieving their goals. Now, if you think about it, that's a 96% failure rate. And I don't know about you, but I personally would not continue to invest in something that only got me a 4% return and a 96% risk or failure rate. And so I started looking at the patterns. I started looking at the people who were actually succeeding and the people who weren't. And it wasn't until many years later that one of my mentors shared with me a concept that transformed my life forever and has helped us help tens of thousands of people in over 45 countries around the world create more happiness, more health, and more wealth in their lives in a very short amount of time. And the concept that we're going to share with you today, one of them is called traceable transparency. And what that means is, for the first time ever, we're on an epic quest to help turn the industry around, to help people like you actually not just learn, but apply the information and track your performance every single day so you can see your progress, you can see your wins, and you can identify the hurdles and barriers that keep holding you back. That's the epic adventure we're going on, and I hope that you'll join us and you'll learn in this short video how to actually instantly start to shift the direction of your life. So one of the most exciting things for me is what we're doing to transform people's lives and to transform an industry. When I talk about an industry, I'm talking about any industry that promises you more wealth, better health, and more happiness, right? So that could be the transformation industry, the internet marketing industry, the network marketing industry, the start your own business industry, even the financial industry, because for the first time in history, we're on an epic quest to transform the accountability of all of these industries. And here's what I mean specifically. How many times have you bought into a program or a concept that if you invest time and money in something and just follow through, it'll change your life? Whether it's buying real estate, building a business, doesn't matter what it is, right? And there's truth in that. The challenge is there's absolutely no standard in any of those industries that says if you invest in this, we promise you're going to get this result. Until now. And what I'm most excited about is we're tracking through what we call transparent trackability, your wealth, your health, and your happiness. And there's three things that we're doing that are changing the way that people are playing the game of life. Number one, in the wealth category, every player is choosing a sports avatar. In other words, you might choose Michael Jordan or Larry Bird or Nadia Comaneci or Dick Hoyt, a character that's inspiring you to help you play a bigger game. Now, the reason we have you choose an avatar is every one of our clients is required to give us every month their financials. You see, we've figured out, after looking at thousands of people's financials, there are 7 numbers that if we have these 7 numbers on our graphs and charts, we can actually determine your likelihood that you're going to get financially free. And out of those 7 numbers, there are 2 numbers that determine immediately how close you are to getting financially free. So we made a bold move not too long ago. We started with a test group of people and we said, all right, you guys, I know that we've been taught through history to not share our financials. We've been taught to not talk about our financials. We've been taught to, invest in certain places and just kind of keep it to ourselves. Well, we're breaking the rules, and here's the reason why. That doesn't work for most people. We find that most people actually don't achieve the level of wealth they could if they hold back, if they keep it to themselves. We actually find that wealth is a team sport, and I think you'll find the same thing. So what I'd love to do is to show you an actual example of some of the charts and the progress that some of our players have made by choosing a wealth avatar. So you want to come over here and let's check this out. Here's what's really cool. Check this out. So this is a spreadsheet. This is a live, real document. And this is a Google spreadsheet. Now what this spreadsheet does is every player has their own name down on the bottom of this spreadsheet. So the one that I'm showing you right now is somebody by the name of Dick Hoyt. Now that's an athlete, and I happen to know which of our clients this is. But here's the cool thing about this. This little chart shows us your total income, your active income, and your passive income. So total income is active and passive, and your monthly expense is the orange line. Now what you'll notice is, as you drill down into this, is that this particular player had some financial challenges. One of the first things we notice is, their expenses was right at their line with their income. And they're obviously not getting ahead. What I didn't know until we dove deeper into this client is that this client had a negative $43,000 in net worth. They had over 12 judgments against them, meaning that there were people trying to collect money from them, and they were in a place where they were completely withdrawn from their finances. We call it the ostrich approach to wealth. And what that means is, just like an ostrich, his head was buried in the sand and left as you know what up in the air, which is a very vulnerable position to be in. He was afraid, he was not moving ahead, and quite honestly, he was stuck. Now, the same person, by the way, over the last year and a half also had some health challenges. And over the last year, he's actually lost over 100 pounds because of him focusing on transforming his health. But the wealth was the next big piece. So we had a quick conversation with him. We said, hey, listen, you need to handle this. First off, you need to just accept that that's where you are. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it just is. People are oftentimes embarrassed about their finances, and one of the first things we want to do is we want to give them confidence, we want to build their trust, and then we want to help them actually develop a strategy to get out. What's amazing about this, as you'll notice, is that this person back in September of 2013 was at negative $43,000 in their net worth, right? So they had assets of $37,000 and liabilities of $80,000. Look at the change that this person has made from $43,000 to $13,000 to $12,000 to $7,000 to $5,000 to $3,000 to $1,000 to break even. They got to our first goal, which was to have a zero net worth. So if you're underwater, the first thing you got to do is to quit drowning, right? We got to get you above water. And so this person did that in just a short period of time. In less than half a year, they went from minus 43,000 to zero. Then, for the first month in probably, many years with this client, they're now at a positive net worth of $8,000. So if you look at the transformation that this person has made, and I talked specifically to this player and I said, what made the difference? And he said, you know what? I finally decided, because of some of our conversations, that it was time to just deal with this. I decided that it was time for me to get in gear and create wealth. And if you look at what this person has done in such a short amount of time, they've had massive, massive transformations. Now, that's one example. And I think there's a lot of people out there that, would be embarrassed about this. But the reality is, if you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that with the support of the right coach and the right team and the right players, that you could turn your financial world around in 6 to 12 to 24 months, would you do it? I would hope so. Because the pain and the suffering and the misery is optional. You don't have to go that way financially. We can help, and that's why we're here. And there's no magic pill. I mean, it takes work, it takes commitment, and it takes focus. But I know for a fact that you and every one of our players can do this. Now, one piece I didn't mention, which I think is really cool, is that we've made a commitment that the first 200 players we're going to personally work with to help them develop the right strategy and to help them get financially free in 3 years. And the reason is we want those 200 people to stand up in front of the whole world and the whole industry and say, you know what? Here's where I was, and here's where I'm at now. And those 200 people, we want them to help the next 200 and the next 400 and the next 800 and the next 1600 until we've created a new relationship with how people do money. Because if you look at the state of our economy, if you look at our country, if you look at the world right now, there's a lot of people that are selling themselves into slavery. They're putting themselves deeper and deeper into debt. They're completely alone. They have no idea what to do. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's unacceptable. I can't allow my friends, I can't allow my family, I can't allow my country, I can't allow the world to slip deeper into an unconscious state financially. We, meaning you and I, have to make changes. And that's the bottom line truth. Oftentimes we get players who have actually been doing well with managing their expenses. And they may not have made a lot of income, but they've done a great job of living beneath their expenses. You know, their expenses are actually less than their income. And they've either invested or they've got some residual income that comes in. And when we talk about residual income, you know, most people talk about having built a business or a network marketing business or investing in real estate and things like that. This particular player had served her city and her state for many years. And what I loved about it is this person didn't even realize how close she was to being financially free. And she actually ended up becoming our first player to get out of the rat race, to get financially free. And the way that we did it was we got down into her numbers and took a look at it and realized, you know, that she had a pension income coming in every single month. And as long as she managed her expenses properly and started to pay down some of the liabilities, she had enough income and assets to get her out of the rat race. So in a very short period of time, in less than a couple of months, all we did was help her take a look at what was actually happening in her finances, develop a new strategy, and now this person is so excited and so freed up to do life the way that she wants to. Now she's at choice with whether she wants to write a book or whether she wants to go travel or whatever she wants to do, because she realized that she has enough income, and if she pays down a couple of liabilities, she can actually be financially free. And this particular player has done a great job in our community of helping other people learn how to play and win the game. So I've got example after example after example. I mean, literally there's over 60 players right now and another 40 or 50 players that are coming in right now who want to play the mastery game and get financially free. So every single player has their avatars, they have their graphs, and our coaches and myself review these every single month. So what's great about that is they can make comments and notes, we can make comments and notes, and we hold them accountable to whatever their strategy is. Now the strategies are different for every single player. There is no one size fits all when it comes to wealth, because every one of you has a different reality. You have different incomes, you have different expenses, you live in different parts of the world. You also have different wealth profiles. And what a lot of people don't realize is there's an assessment that we give to every one of you. And when you take that assessment, it'll determine how you're best fit to create wealth. There are 8 profiles that will tell us exactly how you should be creating wealth. And what most people don't realize is probably over 90% of the people are playing outside of their wealth profile, which means that even if they have success, they're only going to have short-term success. So with all the testing and all the assessment and all the graphs and charts, it takes us less than a couple of minutes a month with each player to make sure that they're on track and that they invest the rest of their time in actually executing the strategy, not just back looking at the strategy. So what we're doing is we're restoring people's confidence, we're giving them clarity, and we're giving them a track to run on. So this is one of the most exciting things that's happening in the Mastery Program, and I would challenge you to look around at any other program that has this level of accountability, this level of transparency, and can literally promise that you're either on or off the right track. Now, that's in the wealth side, and there's way more that I could tell you about it, but that's just one of the exciting things we're doing. There is no doubt that one of our primary focuses in the Mastery program is to help people with their finances. I mean, nothing causes more stress and more breakups in people's relationships than finances. That's a fact. The other thing that we are passionate about and that we're constantly committed to educating and empowering people is in their health. And one of the things that we just recently taught, which I thought was extremely powerful, was the habits of the extremely wealthy versus the poor. Now, some of the things might actually surprise you. And when I talk about the extremely wealthy, I'm talking about people who are billionaires. And this study was done not too long ago. It was published in Forbes, and it talks about how they are actually way more conscious of their health than most people would ever imagine. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at the study. It talks about the fact that they have every week, the wealthy, 76% of them exercise at least 4 hours a week aerobically. You want to know how many the poor do? The poor, on average, only 23% of them exercise for 4 hours a week or more. Now think about that. That is 3 times the amount that wealthy people exercise. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, is that because they're wealthy? They have more time to work out? Absolutely not. These are the people that are growing the biggest companies out there. And they still find time because they believe it's an investment. It's part of what helps them stay at the top of their game. It's also what gets them to the top of the game. One of the other stats I thought was really interesting is what do they eat? And if you look at junk food, it's become a part of a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of processed food, and we're into a holistic life. Now, I don't expect you to go from eating junk food to being an organic vegan overnight. I don't expect you to be gluten-free in 24 hours. But over time, we can readjust your focus, reshift your thinking, and get you to eat foods that fuel you instead of clog you. So when you start looking at the passions of what do they consume as far as food, you also have to take a look at what are they consuming in parts of their minds. And one of the things that I found really shocking was around television. If you look at the wealthy, 60% of them watch less than 1 hour a day of TV versus 13% of the poor. Now that's a pretty big gap if you think about it. So the wealthy are not watching as much TV. Then you got to say, well, what are the people watching? When it comes to reality TV shows, the poor, almost 90% of them are watching reality TV shows. The wealthy, very few. Now, that's an indicator, you guys. It's not only what you're consuming in your body, it's what you're consuming in your minds. Because remember, we have to stand guard at the door of your mind. You have to make sure that the information that's coming into your mind is inspiring you and empowering you instead of expiring you and draining your vital energy and resources. That's why we're so passionate about tracking and figuring out what are you currently doing. If it's working, great, let's do more of that. If it's not, let's redesign your environments to help you become a winner. Let's redesign your environments to play at your peak performance no matter what level you're at. You may be doing amazing in one area of your life, but there may be another area, maybe your happiness, health, or wealth, that you know for a fact you could take from an 8 to a 9, or a 9 to a 10, or in some cases, a 1 to a 9. That's the thing that we want to do with you, is we want to help you get rid of all the things that are holding you back in life and redesign your life. We want to help you do life by design so you can play at the highest level anyone could ever play. Now, one of the other things I'm super excited about, and it's been a passion of mine for many years, is the body environment. You know, we often talk about people wanting to make transformations in their financial environment, but if you don't improve the body environment, it's going to be difficult to actually feel like you're winning in the rest of the environments. Why? There's a deficit happening in our world today. The number one thing that I see people struggling with today is energy and focus. And you can't have energy and focus if your body isn't performing at its best. You know, we talk about professional athletes and we talk about their conditioning and their training. But you know what? You've got the potential to turn that body into an amazing machine. You've got trillions of cells that are either working for you or working against you. So what we've decided to do is take the game to a whole new level. We're going to help you design the proper exercise program for your body. We're going to help you design the proper nutrition program. We're going to help you design the proper sleep program. And a lot of people discount how important it is for entrepreneurs or people in general to actually get the proper amount of sleep. Think about it this way. If you were a professional athlete and I was paying you 7 or 8 figures a year to win a game, You'd want to make sure that you ate properly, you exercised properly, but you'd also want to make sure that you're not out every night up late when you're supposed to be sleeping, getting ready for the big game the next day, right? Well, you are a professional athlete in the game of life, and you're either playing like a pro or you're playing like an amateur. Well, we want to help you not only upgrade your financial environment, we want to help you create the most amazing, energetic, and focused body for you. We want to help you eliminate pain. We want to help you feel sexy again. We want to help you with technology that is going to put you into a fun, collaborative environment where we can track your results. We're going to track your nutrition. We're going to track your exercise. We're going to track your sleep, and we're going to do it all with the new Fitbit bands, and we're going to do it with a cool app that allows everybody to track everybody's performance. So in a fun, collaborative environment, you're going to play a game to get in the best shape of your life in probably 90 days or less. That's pretty exciting. So now that we're going to upgrade your wealth, we're also going to focus on your body environment. But the third major shift that we're making, and I think this is one of the most amazing things, is we're also going to work on helping people reprogram their memetics. We're going to help you with some amazing cutting-edge software that was developed by a friend of mine, John Assaraf, that will literally change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act around money, around your body, around life in general. Now, I've been a part of this test. I've been for the last 9 weeks. As a matter of fact, I went over to the UCSD Brain Observatory and spent 2 hours in an MRI so that they could study my brainwave patterns before and after listening to these softwares. And here's what I can tell you. I've been testing this software out for reprogramming my financial mind. And I got a pretty good financial mind, but I can tell you that just in the last 9 weeks, I've seen massive changes in my mental and emotional state towards wealth. I've been more excited, more turned on, and more focused than I've been in years. I'm re-engaged in my business in a whole new way, and a lot of what we're doing here with this level of transparency and tracking and the results we're getting with our clients is because I've been investing 30 minutes a day in just simply listening to the audio software and reprogramming some of the thinking that I didn't even realize was messing me up. So what I'm super excited about is when you're using these 3 tools, when you're using the software, you're using the Fitbit tracker, and you're using our wealth avatars, you're going to take your life to a whole new level. I know this is true because it's already working with the team that we have playing the game, and they're seeing instant results. And I bet that you will too. So no matter what's going on in your life, simply ask yourself, are you ready to step up to the pros? Are you ready to play a bigger game? Are you ready to be held accountable to not just thinking about transforming your life, not just paying to go to other programs, but actually taking action, raising your awareness, and being held accountable to a whole new level of your life? I hope you are, because this is going to be an epic adventure that someday every one of you is going to be looked at by the rest of this industry, by the rest of the people around you, and go, you know what? They did something to change their lives, and I want to do the same thing. So I welcome you to come join us. Come play with us. Test it out. You have absolutely nothing to lose. You've been clients of ours before, and you know that we deliver on what we promise. Come join us. Work with me for the next year, and I promise you this, that you will transform your life in your wealth, your health, and your happiness.